Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm joined with my co-host Sid. How's it going, Sid?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Lots to talk about today. So we'll catch up with the Champions League matches so far. So we were just speaking about it off air and we were just surprised by the results between Shakhtar Donetsk and Real Madrid. The Shakhtar's done a double on Real Madrid.
Yep. It's I don't know what's going on with them this year. I don't know what's going on with most teams, to be fair. Like, there's no guarantees in any games,
No, not at all. Not at all.
so pressure's building up on Zizi.
Yeah.
Zuzu.
Oh, Zizou. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on him now because Inter Milan won today as well. So I think their
Yeah.
final fixture is against Borussia Mönchengladbach. So
Mm.
that's not an easy fixture because I think they drew previously, didn't they? So
Yeah.
with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So yeah, very very tricky result for Real Madrid. Looking across the other groups as well. You've got Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid and Bayern Munich who drew today as well, which is a good result for Atletico. So Man City, they 0-0 today, which is a good point for them, I guess. Porto is always
They're
a
through,
difficult.
isn't it?
Yeah, they're through now. I think they'll be top of the top of their table. So yeah, so that was always a tricky fixture. I think English teams don't have the best record when they visit the Porto Stadium. So that's always a tricky one. So Liverpool are through as well. So Liverpool won today against Ajax. So I'm not sure if you saw the game, Sid. So
I
it was a
didn't know.
decent game. So we had a young goalkeeper, Kelleher, who made his Champions League debut today, and to be fair, looked a lot more assured than a certain Adrian would look in goal. So I was really impressed with his performance today. He was my man of the match, 100%. He made a good couple of saves as well, in particularly a point header from Huntelaar, who actually forgot played for Ajax as well.
So you saying that to me now is just like,
Yeah,
what?
I know he's I feel like he's been around forever, hasn't he? So
Yeah.
so that was a good win for us. A little bit of a scare in terms of another injury with Robertson, but my guy's a warrior, so he just pulled it through and finished the whole game. So he seemed to be all right afterwards. But Alisson's injured, so our injury list is just piling up more and more and more right now.
But for how long?
I think he's out for about a couple of weeks. Like, he won't be able to make the fixture against Wolves this week. So possibly he'll be back next week. But it's a hamstring, so you have to be quite delicate with that sort of injury. So
Yeah, very careful.
remains to be seen. Yeah, so it remains to be seen. But speaking of Wolves and Liverpool, let's start our review of Premier League match week 10. So I think it's probably right to go with the game with the highest scoreline, which is Man City and Burnley. So Riyad Mahrez scoring a hat-trick. For me, he should be starting a lot more games. So it's good to see that he actually started this game and, he just looked unstoppable from the first minute. You had some other good performances throughout the team. Foden made an impact when he came on. Mendy scored his first goal for the club as well. So which I didn't notice. I thought he would have scored by now, but it shows his injury record. But what did you think of the game overall, Sid?
I think it was good. I think can I say it's routine? To be fair, Burnley haven't really started the season great.
No.
It's been a catastrophe, shall we say. So I think there was a stat saying the last 4 home games Man City have played Burnley, they won 5-0. So that is like their favorite club to play at home, no doubt. But Mahrez, like you said, needs to start more games because he's really effective. His first touches are really good, and he was composed in his finishing. But Kevin De Bruyne again was pulling strings in the midfield. So it was a good game. It was a routine victory. Like Man City, I don't think they should, think they've turned the corner or anything because it's Burnley. But yeah, good result for them is what I say.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't. Yeah, I agree with exactly what you said. I wouldn't be too far fetched and say they're back on track or anything like that. It's a good result, but I think Burnley are one of those teams that just haven't started at all. They've just looked below par. Like they haven't really recruited during the summer either, so they haven't really strengthened in that sort of possession. But yeah, they're just a bit of a tricky team, I think, to play against. But it was at home as well for Man City, so I think rightly good result for the Blues there. Next fixture, Brighton
Wait,
and Liverpool.
over to you, mate.
Let me sip a bit of water there. Yeah, where do I begin? It's the same old. I feel like I'm a cassette player. Literally every week, I'm talking about VAR decision, and it's just for me, it's getting a bit boring now. I'm kind of not to be funny. I'm kind of losing a bit of love for football right now. Like, not because it's against Liverpool. I'm talking in general as well. Like, VAR is literally ruining the game of football, in my opinion, right now. Like, too many decisions are being kind of ruled out incorrectly, or there's interference from referees where they're not making the right decisions. And for me, it's just eyeballed. And obviously, I'm sure everyone saw the post match interview with Jurgen Klopp as well, who like people saying that he's always got something to say, blah blah blah. But I think he speaks for everyone when he has these sort of rants because it affects the Premier League as well at the same time and the safety of the players. Like I watched an interview of Gary Neville when he was on Monday Night Football yesterday, and he was saying to be fair, he was talking a load of rubbish, and not because he's my ex-Man United or anything. It was just I didn't agree with a lot of his views, like saying this season is not an exception. Whereas we've never gone through a pandemic, we've not gone through this sort of season where fixtures are congested ridiculously. Like me and you have been doing this for a while now, and like we just assume that we're just talking about Premier League today, and we're like, oh no, there's Champions League on this day. So we're getting like confused with the fixture list as well. So, and obviously the interviewer, who I believe his name is Des Kelly of BT Sports, he knows how to rattle Klopp. He knows what to say to push his buttons, because first question was asked about what do you think of the decisions, and Klopp was like, yeah, I agree with the referee. Kind of just keep it shut there. But he's like, no, but your player said it was wrong. And he's just like, you're trying to push my buttons now. Like, just ask me the question so you can get your clickbait headline, So yeah. So I'm backing my manager in that aspect.
Obviously.
But yeah. No, but do you not agree that he has valid points in terms of
this is Klopp all over. This is Klopp all over. Klopp's got valid points in terms of 5-man substitutions. Yeah, I get that. And considering, the fixture pileup, but I don't think this is anything new. Like, I don't think if Klopp had a full strength squad and there was no injuries, he would not be calling for this 5-man substitutions and all of that.
I think because they were doing it before the season started. So this is before the injury crisis that Liverpool faced. So I believe there were 16 teams that agreed to it, and there were 4 teams, including Sheffield United, which is why he's having a back and forth row with Chris Wilder right now.
Yeah.
So that's their differences right now. But I think he's had it from. I think because we had those 5 substitutions at the latter stages of last season, it was like it worked. And it kind of helped in terms of selection as well, or making sure you're not overusing players too many times, despite our congested fixture list. So I feel like he's got valid points, and that's not me being biased as well.
But where is the congested fixture list now, though?
So for us, it's playing Champions League. Like we were saying it off air as well. Like playing Champions League every week wasn't how it was, I think, in a normal season. And obviously the whole scenario where if we play on a Wednesday, for example, Wednesday night, and we're playing 12:30 kickoff, he's saying that the broadcasters have the right to kind of choose the timing as well, because they would have meetings now and they would kind of pan out the fixtures for the next couple of months. Because if you look at the Sky Sports or BT Sports schedule list, they don't have all of the fixtures panned out. So this is the meetings that they have regularly on a monthly basis. So that was his argument as well. And Ole expressed it as well at the same time a couple of weeks ago. So it's not something that he's doing it for himself. I feel like it's a genuine concern for teams that are competing in the Champions League and maybe the Europa League as well.
But I think he's taken it away from the result as well. Like, I think Klopp needs to be better with that because
Oh,
I
but
think
Sid, he was
I
very
get
articulate.
it.
He spoke, but then he rattled him. So
I get
when
it, I get it,
yeah,
but I do think he does need to have a bit more decorum in his interviews because
nah,
no, to be fair, like it wasn't needed because he was going at Des Kelly regarding that situation. Like Des Kelly is the culprit in this situation, so Des Kelly rightfully says, "Okay,
yeah,
look, I can tell this is going nowhere. Let's just end it there." But Klopp was saying, "No,
yeah.
you." Decided this or you the broadcast and it's
Because
just
he
like
interviews him every week, so he looks at his face like you're BT Force.
is that right? Come on, but is that right though?
No, but I like the thing was when the interview started, he was speaking very calmly, but then he knows what questions to ask him to kind of push his buttons. Otherwise, there's no clickbait headline after that. If he spoke calmly after a draw, you're thinking, what's going on? That's not the normal Klopp, because that's what we're used to like in recent weeks where Klopp has a bit of a rant or whatnot. So he knows the interviewer knows what he's doing. He's a smart guy. He's a journalist. He knows what to do to get the best reactions
Mm.
out of certain guys. Back in the day, you'd get reactions from Sir Alex Ferguson as well and Jose Mourinho. We still get that from Mourinho nowadays, anyway. But yeah, so they know what they're doing in that aspect. But overall, in terms of the team performance, obviously Jota on the score sheet, which was
Good.
fantastic. He's just unstoppable right now. For me, soft penalty. I don't know how you feel about it, Sid, but yeah, it's just I think right now with VAR, there's too much inconsistencies right now. So there's some decisions that were similar in previous week that were given and some that aren't given. So I think that's the
Yeah.
frustrations that fans are facing right now.
No, I agree with you. I agree. The penalty for me was just weak, isn't it? I think,
Yeah,
when you look at it, you're just like, seriously, come on.
yeah,
Like, this is playground stuff. Just get over it, man. Get up. Like, the fact that you stopped the game for such nonsense just shows you where we
yeah,
are in football now. Do you
yeah.
see what I'm saying? But I must say, I was over the moon when that, let me not cuss him, but Mopay missed the penalty
Ah,
for Brighton. I can't stand he's
I thought you
so
liked
cocky.
it.
Who said that?
Sid, I'm sure we've spoken about him in the past. You're like, yeah, yeah,
Nah,
I like his attitude. Or has he? Is he
he
become too arrogant now?
he's too arrogant. When in lockdown last season against Arsenal, I gave him credit. I'm not gonna lie because I
Mm,
thought, yeah, this guy's got, he grabs balls by the horn,
yeah.
but I just think he's just too cocky with it. And so when he missed, I was just like, yep, good, good, good.
I think it was
Only time I
already
was just
he
doing
was ready on to celebrate, wasn't he? So yeah, I think he didn't
yeah,
have his eye on the goal to be honest.
good.
But yeah, that's an interesting one. But yeah, in terms of the game, I think it is what it is. I think not the end of the not the worst result in the world, but we'll take it on the chin, I guess.
Yeah.
Nothing else we can do. On to next fixture, which was full of goals. Southampton versus Manchester United. So, give me your thoughts on the team performance. Are United back? Is Ole back on the wheel? Let me know what you think.
Easy, easy. It'd be silly to think that, but I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we started off. It's it was a diamond formation, Matic lying deep, and then you had Fred and Van der Beek on either side, and Fernandez. I think that could be something, but in that sense, I would rather McTominay than Matic, and
Really?
that's only because people might not agree, but I think McTominay is more mobile and he covers more of the pitch than Matic. And yes, I get why you have a formation of diamond because you're meant to sit deep if that's where you're meant to play. But I think McTominay offers more with that, in my opinion, anyway. But
That's fair.
I think Van der Beek is just underrated by Solskjaer. Like you can just tell the quality that this guy possesses. His vision is different. His tackling is also there. And I'm sorry, but Pogba's going to struggle to get into that team the way Van der
Mm,
Beek's playing. But
yeah.
going back to the game, I think, look, Southampton, credit where due because they took their chances. They had two. Ward Prowse, you just I guarantee you, if you was watching it with me, you would have heard me say this is a goal.
Really?
It it's so obvious. This is what you're coming to expect now from him.
By the way, can I ask you, Sid, what was your boy doing lying down, sunbathing
So-
behind the wall? Like, what did he
Do
thought
you
it was in
know?
Rio de Janeiro or something? Like, what's going on?
I saw that and I was baffled because I was just like, what is he doing? But it makes sense though. I can see what he's trying to achieve.
But you know,
Because,
Ward-Prowse doesn't take free kicks. Like, he doesn't do that Ronaldinho thing where he does it
yeah,
underneath the wall.
no,
But that's what
I get that. I get that. And any idiot will be able to tell you that. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't, in that circumstance, I don't know what he was doing.
yeah,
But, for other situations, I can appreciate that because you would have thought De Gea would have saved that or could have saved that at least, if I'm
Sid, he
being
was,
honest with you.
he was in your team of the week last week. Like,
Yeah, he was. He was.
So
But
I don't think he's been informed to be in anyone's team of the week. He's not been. He's continued his bad form from last season. That's how I'm seeing it as a neutral. To be honest with you, he
I don't
hasn't.
think I don't
And
think
to
he's
get subbed
continued.
at half time as well.
Yeah, but he was injured though.
Oh, was he? Oh, okay, fine. I
Yeah,
didn't.
he was injured. He was injured, bro. He was injured. So that's unfortunate. But
Yeah.
the corner again. What we what are we doing? I don't understand. Like, where is our marking? And you know, Maguire, Lindelof. I'm not sure about this defensive pairing, but if we talk about United's comeback, this is just United of old, isn't it? 2-0 down at half time, swashbuckling, counter-attacking football.
Oh,
Cavani just, oof. This is like watching, it's like I had Van Persie or Van Nistelrooy up front
oh
again,
my.
it's just happy days. And, Fernandez, yes, he scores a lot of penalties, but he offers us a lot more than just that. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying people don't see that, but I do think people need to give him a lot more credit because he is
Yeah.
producing the goods. He is effective. He's still getting assists. Do you see what I'm saying? And he's doing a lot more than many of these other creative midfielders are doing.
Mm.
So yeah, and Cavani, I'm sorry, but he's bossing. I wouldn't say bossing it. Let me not get excited, but his
You are a tad bit, to be honest with you, Sid.
his movement is something else, and that's something that we don't have with Martial.
Yeah, but that's something your young strikers can learn off as well at the same time.
100%.
Because
I
that's
yeah,
something you can learn, but I think for Cavani it comes natural to him in terms of his movement. So despite
yeah,
his he's a bit of an older player now, but he hasn't lost that in his locker. He's still got that movement. That's why he was able to finish those 2 goals during the weekend. So no, fair
this is
play.
it.
Yeah, great performance.
And to answer your question, we're definitely not back, but if we can get a run of games where we're consistent, we
Yeah,
can't do this victory and then lose tomorrow. That's my problem. We need to be consistent. But yeah, I'm happy with that performance, and props
yeah,
to Ole for making that substitution at halftime.
yeah. No, fair play to Ole.
Yeah.
So something about Cavani that just want to briefly talk about is his Instagram post that he removed over the weekend. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that, Sid. So obviously it's an ongoing case with the FA right now. Um, do you believe he deserves to be punished, or is it something where it's something that clubs need to take responsibility regarding providing some sort of diversity training when foreign players join their club? Like, how do you see it?
It's a hard one. It's difficult for me to say if I'm honest, but I do think that it needs to be something that has a holistic approach to it.
Yeah,
If I don't want to single out Cavani because again, even the FA are looking at the situation to understand what his intentions were and
yeah,
why did he approach it like that. But I think you can look at it where, in general, there needs to be a better approach by the FA in terms of guidance and implementing a strategy for curbing these type of things, because at the end of the day it's not going to stop, because I think this is a phrase or something that is used back home for a lot of these South American players as a sense term of endearment, and they don't see any offense to it. And if that's the case, that's their country and that's what they're used to. But I think we spoke
Yeah.
about it before. If you're coming here, you've got to adapt. But it'd be interesting to see how the FA approach it. If he should get banned, yeah, I think that would be the right route. How long? I don't know. But what do you think though?
Like I've been seeing a lot of stuff online regarding I think Troy Deeney's voices of thoughts on it. So saying that there should be severe punishment. Some people have compared it to Suarez, where he got 8 match ban because he used a similar term as well. But with Suarez, it's a completely different situation because that was on the pitch, and the way he spoke of that term was in an aggressive manner. So it wasn't like that. So, for example, Cavani's post was him basically saying thank you to one of his friends. So I think it's just on his part, it's lack of education and slightly ignorance as well at the same time.
Yeah,
Um, which is, I think, when you move to a foreign country, you kind of just need to understand the principles of like where you live because obviously UK is a very multicultural place. So a lot of people have said that it's the FA's responsibility in the Premier League. I'll be honest with you, I don't have a lot of faith in these organizations when it comes to issues regarding race and anything like that because it's been evident that we've had all these campaigns like kick out racism and all of these sort of like subgroups under the FA and it hasn't worked. There's
mm,
not been that much progression made. So I feel whenever these incidents happen, it affects the player and it affects the club. So for me, I believe clubs should kind of have that implemented when a new player joins and just present like a training session on their first day when they come in regarding diversity, but also at the same time how to use social media as well, because that could have been avoided. Like we were speaking off air regarding Bernardo Silva, where he shared a joke describing Mendy as a cartoon character. Like between mates, if you're that close and you have that kind of banter, it is what it is. You do what you need to do inside, like within your own privacy. But to share that to the public is just a lack of logic, in my opinion. Like you should know what you're doing is not correct. But
yeah,
regards to Cavani, I don't think he meant it in an aggressive way or anything to be offensive because he just scored the winner for United's game and he's just thanking people that have posted on his Instagram story. So regarding his punishment, I don't really have a strong stance in terms of that punishment. Bit far fetched to say 8 games or 3 games. I think Bernardo Silva got 1 game, which I believe is what you told me the other day. Then that should be the same for Cavani. Like it's just something that isn't correct. Like we might have to use Cavani as an example now, where
mm,
you shouldn't use social media for these kind of things. And if you're not familiar with the culture or about different races, because let's be honest, like some players have come from different parts of the world where they've probably not been around different nationalities and stuff like that. So it's a very sensitive issue, but I feel like clubs should take this on board themselves rather than relying on the Premier League or relying on the FA or EFL. Because me personally, I don't have any faith in them in these kind of issues. So it's better that the clubs do it themselves because it protects their reputation and also the players as well at the same time. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it because it's an ongoing case. I don't think there was a lot of malice with regards to his post anyway. So we'll give
mm,
him the benefit of the doubt. But I would say is ignorant on his part. But we shall see how that
yeah,
concludes. So on to the next game, Spurs and Chelsea. Sid, me and you bigged this game up last week like it's going to be a blockbuster. Um, but I will say this: it was the typical Mourinho performance. Like he
yeah.
masterminded that performance, and he got what he needed. He got a point.
But I don't know. I was bored by that game. I just
So was I, to be fair.
I can't even lie to you. Like I saw it, and you're right. This is Mourinho at his finest because at the end of the day, he literally set them up not to lose,
Yeah.
and you knew he was never going to lose against Chelsea.
No.
Not recently, anyway. The way they've been playing, and this is him. He would park the bus if he needed to
Yeah.
ensure that Chelsea ain't doing nothing, and you
Yeah.
could kind of see that. And I think Chelsea were threatening. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't where it was all guns blazing and there was, going for a result. And it struck me because I don't know if you saw the interviews afterwards, but Lampard was saying, I think the interview asked Lampard, "Oh, that's a fair reflection based on both of your performances, a 0-0 draw," and he was just like, "Well, no, not really, because my team dominated. Yeah, they had chances, but my team clearly was the ones in dominating position, and we should have won that game." And I thought, slow down, no, what? Come off it, like seriously. Like I get what you're saying now. I mean, I backed him previously because I thought, whatever, but he's just becoming more and more arrogant with it now.
I saw it a
Is that
long time.
me?
No, I saw it a long time ago, man. Like even just like the way he talks in post-match interviews, it's like, come on, you're deluded if you're thinking what you're saying. Like, I'm not saying Chelsea never had great performances, but yeah, like be realistic as well at the same time. If your team didn't do well, be honest and say it how it is. Me personally, I think they should have started Giroud. I don't know why he doesn't get a game anymore.
It
Like
baffles me.
he scored the other day in the Champions League, scored the winner. Start the guy. Like, why have you got Tammy Abraham, who I know you're not a big fan of, but to say the least. But for me, that was a Giroud. Giroud was perfect for this game in terms of like he could have held the ball out and got others involved, and that would have presented more chances for Chelsea to convert and score some goals.
Yeah.
But they've gone for Tammy Abraham, who's, I know in stature he's like same height or similar height and similar style to an extent, but he has a bit more pace about him. But he doesn't have that experience right now where you're playing against a Mourinho's team where he's done it in a tactical way where he will make sure you don't get anything out of the game. So it should have been a thing where Giroud should have been used regarding his experience on the field. And I'm sure he would have done a lot more damage. I know he came on later on in the game, but at that time, there's only so much impact that you can have in the teams. So, yeah, I think good point for Spurs overall. Not Chelsea, it is what it is for Chelsea. I think it's a good point for them as well. But I think Spurs were just the smarter team. Like, they knew what they had to do. They knew it wasn't about them having a blockbuster game. For them, it was like making sure we get the points so we stay on top. And that's Mourinho written there. Like, Mourinho is the winner. Doesn't care about stuff like that. He wants to make sure my team stays on top.
Yeah.
So, but 100%. we can move on to Tottenham's North London rivals, Arsenal. Sid, where do we begin? I feel like you're sporting Wolves today with your hoodie on as well. You got Wolves colours on today.
I'm backing it. But I don't actually know what to say about this game. I mean, Wolves, credit to them. Traore, ever the threat down the wing.
Rings around that game. Oh my God.
He was just, how do you stop him? And I was laughing. Yeah, he's back to his best, and I was laughing because, like, I was watching him run, and because he's so built, he runs like a rugby player. Like, he runs like a winger, like a rugby winger. Yeah, because he's just so big. And I was just like, how do you stop this guy?
Yeah.
I'd be like, listen, go do your thing, my friend.
You walk away. You get them balls in Spain when they have the red flag. Yeah, I'm not even on the red flag.
My friend, please. Because it's pointless, and I just think well done to Wolves. I think Wolves aren't looking great this season. I mean, they're not looking as composed or threatening as previously, but you can tell when they're on it, and a lot of their players are stepping up. Like Neto, I think he scored again this game, and
Podence as well scored a winning goal. He looks good.
But Arsenal, I don't know what is not. Clearly, something's not working. Clearly something's not working. And I think there was an article or a forum where they said, what harm would it be to bring in Ozzie? Well, can he even play? Sorry.
I don't think he's registered to play in the Premier League.
So there you go.
I don't know. It's to not even register him is like, I think it will cost his job. Like, do you think his job's under fire right now?
I think I think they'll give him this season
Yeah,
because he came in late last season, isn't it? No, midpoint last season, isn't it?
yeah,
So I think they'll give him a full season, but they will be thinking, wait, have we made the right decision?
yeah,
Because this doesn't look good, Like, yeah, I think if it carries on, it's going to be a struggle for him to stay.
yeah. I think also they rely too heavily on Aubameyang.
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah.
not been firing at all since he signed that contract. Like, remember
Two
when Ozzy
goals.
signed his contract? What happened after that?
hmm hmm
Got comfortable.
Yeah, very
So
comfortable.
these guys aren't playing like that now because the team's not performing. So,
Mm,
not saying you shouldn't have given him a contract, but at the end of the day, if you've given a player an extension like that, you guys need to strengthen the team as well. I know they've got
yeah,
Partey. For us, and we've said this in the past as well. He's a good signing,
yeah.
but that's not what they really needed at this stage. They really needed a creative player. But then again, if Ozil was playing, then it kind of solves the puzzle there. That you've got Partey and then you've got Ozil in front of him as well. So it would have
Partey
done
would allow Ozil to have that freedom.
exactly. So also players like Lacazette, who's like he might as well replace Ozil because he hasn't done much either in
No,
terms of actually helping out the team. There's been no value to the team right now, unfortunately. So it's just one of those ones where I'm just like,
baffled.
I think Arteta's made a big mistake by not registering Ozil, and it could cost his job.
Yeah,
Literally, I'm not saying he'll get sacked next week or anything, but I'm sure the board will have a different view of him in terms of his performance, and it may be reviewed at the end of the season where they're like, yeah, he's not as good as we thought he was at the end of the day.
yeah.
So yeah, tricky time for Arsenal. That's consecutive defeats as well. Yeah, poor Arsenal fans probably going through all kinds of stress and trauma right now.
Poor Arsenal fans.
Trust me, man. I feel for them. That's why they're blowing up on their channel online, and it's just like, yeah, rants left, right, and center. But yeah, troops in America right now, and he's just probably
He's not happy.
he's thinking, oh, why am I even doing this? Like, might as well just settle it in and just do something else in America. But yeah. So that wraps up our roundup of Matchweek 10. So we can do our team of the week. So Sid, I'll go first, and I'll kind of break down my team. You'll be surprised to know I actually changed formation this week. So I've gone for a 3-5-2 formation.
Okay.
And the only reason I've gone for a 3-5-2 is because I struggled to select any good defenders during the week. So
mate, I'm with you on that.
it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was a struggle. So okay, so let me do. So I'll do my team, and then you can follow suit, and then do your starting lineup as well. So I've got Johnston, West Brom again, 2 weeks in a row. I've got him in my team.
I did that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your?
He's solid.
Do you have a team set out for yourself as well?
Listen, mate. I've got McCarthy in goal.
He had a good performance as well. It was close to being in my team as well at the same time.
Yeah, he had a good setup. Mate, I'm not gonna lie, I struggle for my defenders.
Okay.
Like midfield, I'm heavy, and up top, I know who's gonna be there.
All right, but I'll tell you my defenders then. So I've got 3 at the back. So I've got Mendy on the left side. He had a good performance. I think that was his first game back after a few weeks off as well. So he looked decent during the game. Obviously scored his goal. I've gone for Gabriel from Arsenal. Totally, I think he had a decent game. Like, I know Traore rings around the left back and him as well. But I think he managed to cope well despite kind of being isolated with him at times as well when the left back should be covering that position. And he scored a nice, powerful header as well. So I'll give him my selection of the week. And I've also got for Bednarek from Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton.
Yeah, so he scored a goal for them as well. So I've basically gone for 2 goal scorers, and then that's my defender. Literally, like, defender scored a goal. He must have done a good game. But Gabriel, I feel like he had a decent game. Bednarek as well. Obviously, the scoreline didn't dictate his performance, but I think the last few weeks, him and Vestergaard have been quite pivotal in terms of the success of Southampton. So,
Mhm.
so I thought he deserves a mention in my team of the week. So midfield, who do you have as your centre mids?
So I had Phillips. I thought
Nice.
had a good game, and
Mm,
then I had De Bruyne
yep.
in midfield. What about you?
So I've got three midfielders. So I've got two centre mids and one number 10. So I've got Fernandes, De Bruyne, and I've got Podence from.
Yeah,
I thought he had a
Wolves.
great impact in the game. Like he's literally what Arsenal are missing. That's the
Mm,
kind of player he is. Like he was just amazing during the game, and I think he's stepped up in terms of replacing Jota in that team as well, because that's the role he's taken up on. So
yeah.
credit to him, he's kind of adjusted to the life of the Premier League quite quickly, and he's just underway and he's doing really well. So definitely deserves a mention, I think, this week.
Hmm.
Who do you have on your wing?
So so it'd be two sitting midfielders, and I had Mahrez
Mm.
and then Grealish on the
Okay,
other, and
okay.
then obviously I had my boy Fernando's number 10.
Number 10. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about yourself?
I've got Mahrez. I think everyone should have Mahrez in their team, scored a hat trick and all that. I've got Jota in my team again. Um,
That's fair though. It's justified.
another. Yeah, it's justified. He just can't stop scoring. So yeah, I think he deserves to be in the team. So I've gone for two strikers. How many strikers have you? You've got the two as well, right?
No, just one. Just one.
Just one. So who's your? Oh, should I ask who your striker is?
Guess. Guess.
His initial. Yeah, the celebration.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I
You'll be
think
happy to
props to him, man.
have him as well.
It was
Yeah,
good.
yeah. No, I agree. Props to him. I think. Obviously, I was a bit vocal in terms of when you guys signed. I didn't think it was the right signing, but I think his experience is quite valuable for your team right now in terms of
Mm.
the young players that you have. So, and it goes to show, you might be 35. I think he is at this stage. He's still got it.
33.
He's still got
33.
that move. 33. Oh, sorry. So
Mm.
he's still got that killer instinct in him. He's still there for goals. So yeah, I think he'll be a valuable player for you guys this season. I'm not going to say
100%.
he's the best, but definitely great addition. But, so I've got Callum Wilson as his strike partner.
Oh, brilliant.
So I think he's been doing well for Newcastle. I think he's definitely made an impact at the club. And then on the fixture on Friday, I was just like really impressed with the runs that he was making, even his link
Mm.
up play with Joe Linton as well, who's actually looked a better player. I think he probably suits a formation where he has a strike partner rather than playing alone. I
Yeah.
don't think he has that ability to play on his own, maybe because he's not really played up front that much throughout his career. So, he's played a left wing for Hoffenheim before he joined Newcastle. So, which is a bit
Really?
strange. Yes, it doesn't really look like a left winger in terms of his ability, but yeah,
Mm.
that's how it goes sometimes. But yeah, so that's my selection for team of the week. So today I wanted to do like a little interesting debate with you, Sid. So these two players, Haaland and Mbappe. So arguably they're like the hot strikers in the world right now. So let me give you a scenario. You're your club manager right now. So you've replaced Ole at the wheel. So Sid's at the wheel now. And
Mhm.
your owner has given you a blank checkbook to say you can sign Haaland or Mbappe. Who would you go for?
Ireland.
Without any
No,
hesitation, that's your guy.
no questions asked. No questions asked. I
Yes,
think.
Dan, why would you choose Haaland over Mbappe?
I just think Mbappe's more of a flair player, and
Mm.
he's young. So let's not say he's having a blip or he's not having a good period. Yeah, but I just think Haaland's more consistent. And if you want someone that's going to guarantee you goals as a striker, then you
Yeah,
don't have to look any further than Haaland. And Haaland is just breaking records left, right, and center. Mbappe, don't get me wrong, is still clinical. He's world class. He comes with a wealth of experience, and winning a World Cup, you
yeah,
know, that doesn't go unnoticed. But for me, Haaland's just making a mockery of everything. But
Yeah.
that's just me. I've always liked Haaland since he burst on the scene. But what about you?
I'm a bit on the fence. So I think you know as well. I like both players. Like stylistically, I think Mbappe is like one of those generational players where they don't come along too many times. Like for me, he in terms of the way he finishes, reminds me of like an R9. Not he won't be that player. Like obviously R9 is for me
Yeah,
is like the greatest of all time, but he has that Thierry Henry kind of flair about him because they both started at the same club and they both
yeah,
played in similar positions. So you can see like the way they play is quite similar. But his finishing is more R9 where I feel like he's a bit more clinical. So for me, in terms of his flair and ability, like that's the signing that I would go for. But you can't knock off Haaland in terms of how he plays. Like he will guarantee you goals. So for me,
mm,
in terms of fantasy world, I'd go for Mbappe. But if I was to
mm,
say, if I come back down from cloud 9 and I said realistically, who would be the type of player I'd sign? It'd probably be Haaland because I'm thinking a bit more of the bigger picture in terms of financially, where he wouldn't be on a crazy salary right now. Um, and then he'll be a bit more realistic to attain at a lower transfer fee where Mbappe would be world record fee and he'd probably start doing world record salary for him as well at the same time.
yeah.
Uh, but in terms of pure enjoyment, it's hard to say. Like that's why I wanted to do this debate because I can't split the two. I love watching both of them.
But you know what you'll get with Haaland.
Yeah,
Mbappe, I think, is there, but he's gonna be like a Ronaldo, like Cristiano, where
yeah,
you won't see the best of well both of them for a period. But I think Mbappe will come into his own properly
yeah,
and be like the Neymars or the Messis and the Ronaldos in a few years to come. But
yeah,
if you're talking about consistent striker
yeah,
who's going to get you goals, I think Haaland has to be. For me, I would pick Haaland because look, I know that place him in the Prem, in the Spanish league. If he
yeah,
went to the Spanish league, it would be a joke. But
yeah,
any other league, he will score goals.
yeah.
And I like the kids. I like the kid, man.
Well, fingers crossed that he joins Liverpool next summer, innit? So yeah.
You're right.
Listen, if we get him, oh my gosh,
It's game over.
it's game over. Literally, that's the striker that will be playing for Liverpool for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Like,
If we
literally,
get him,
you
it's
have
the
the chance.
quadruple.
Look, mate, it's Liverpool's turn to get now.
Oops, fair
You
do,
can
fair
do it,
do.
mate. But I'll be honest, it's the agent, isn't it? We've had this discussion before. It's the agent, and like he's just very vocal. And I think he came on Talksport the other day as well, having some kind of debate with Simon Jordan. So he's just like a bit up himself at the same time.
A bit.
But yeah, but I would say I'd love to see these players in the Premier League, but I'd only love to see them if they're joining my team because I'd be annoyed if Haaland goes to like a Man City or Mbappe goes to a Man City because those are the kind of clubs that, well, Man City can afford to kind of splurge that amount of money on a player and pay that salary as well at the same time. They were ready to spend so much on Messi during the summer,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's an
Goes without
interesting one.
saying.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll run up our episode with fantasy football, Sid. Sid, I've had the worst week ever since I've started playing
Why?
fantasy. I got 18 points
Ah.
in total, Sid. But I forgot to do my team. So I'll give myself that benefit of the doubt. And I've got a lot of injuries as well. So
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
I've got Zaha in my team, so he got COVID unfortunately. So he's recovering right now. And then also Raul Jimenez, who got injured. So just like to send him some good wishes actually, because had a horrific injury against Arsenal. So hopefully he's doing well in hospital right now, and wish him a full recovery at this time as well. So yeah, it didn't do very well at all. So I'll probably end up using my wild card soon.
Yeah.
So how do you get on?
I have a 40 or 41,
Okay,
but I still went down in the league position. So it's just like
really? I'm
it's
19th. I'm 19th from third to 19th. So
In 1 week.
in 1 week.
Jeez.
in
That's
1 week.
yeah.
So yeah, crazy, crazy week. But one of our participants in our league, named Dekbal Dragnil, I hope I haven't butchered your name there, so apologies if I have.
Yeah.
With 69 points, which is really good considering it was a week where a lot of injuries just panned out. I've got Lamptey in my team, so he got suspended as well. So there's a
Mm.
lot of those kind of considerations that need to be taken. But so yeah, so well done to Deck Powell for that. Doing really well, mate.
Yeah.
All right, so quick preview of match week 11. So the big game this week is Spurs and Arsenal. Is that another mastermind performance of Mourinho? I can see them winning, to be fair.
I didn't even say mastermind. What you mastermind? You're playing Arsenal. No, I just think it'll be a straightforward victory. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie to you. I just think Arsenal. I just don't see anything from them anymore. And Aubameyang's not firing. They just don't look good. So it's gonna be, I say, 3-1 to Spurs.
I tell you what, though, Roy Keane said some wise words during Sky Sports. I don't know if you saw Sid. He says that he believes that Arsenal have enough to stay up. So, so take the positives from that. Sorry, Arsenal fans, I had to say that.
Why is Roy Keane like this though?
Roy Keane's a legend. I'm not even like, obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I love watching him on Sky Sports. He's just too direct and too brutally honest, and I love it.
He's
Literally.
just real.
I know, I love it. I love people like that. So yeah, definitely keeps it real. So you're going for a 3-1, Sid. I'd go for 2-0. I don't even think Arsenal will score if I'm honest with you, Sid.
Oh God.
You go to Spurs straight away.
Yeah.
Straight away. So
That's mad. Yeah, I think 3-1. I think Arsenal will probably score first. That's how bad it is. And then Tottenham will come back and win.
yeah, exactly. I definitely see that happening as well. So, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. But before we leave our show today, just want to say rest in peace to Diego Maradona. Such a big loss to the world of football. Amazing player. Obviously, I think when he was playing, we were a bit young to watch him live and stuff like that. But obviously, being avid football fans, we've educated ourselves over the years when we were youngsters and watched so many games of his and highlight reels of how he was as a player.
Yeah.
And just simply one of the greatest.
Yeah. I think you can't, regardless of what generation you are,
Yeah.
everyone will have known or heard of Maradona and seen him. YouTube's a great thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a shame because, successes on the pitch doesn't always guarantee a normal life. And, it's sad. He did have a troubled life outside of football, but, you got to give props where due. He was just a legend of the game and, he will be missed.
Yeah, 100%. And also, unfortunate news yesterday was regarding Papa Bouba Diop, who
Yeah.
unfortunately passed away as well. So rest in peace to Papa Bouba Diop, who I think one of his iconic moments was the goal that Senegal scored in the 2002 World Cup against
Yeah.
France. And
Yeah.
that is like always going to be the memory I have of that World Cup. I
Yeah.
don't like care about anything else that happened during it. That's just an iconic moment for Senegal and for the player himself as well. Who we've seen play in the Premier League for Fulham and Portsmouth as well over the years. So condolences to his family as well and his friends. May he rest in peace. So yeah, it's been a sad week for football, unfortunately. But so yeah, so that wraps us up today, guys. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I believe there's Champions League next week as well, Steve. So we'll
I'm
be
not
back.
saying anything. I don't know.
I haven't checked the fixture links, but I believe there is. So we'll be back same time, 10:30 p.m. So thank you for tuning in, guys, and we shall see you next week, hopefully.
Yes. Take care.